My family demands that I pay for everything because I'm rich. They demand that I pay for a $35,000 vacation after I've already paid off all of their mortgages. To start, I'm Emily, 46F, married to David, and we have 3 kids: Ethan, 15, Chloe, 13, and Madison, 10. 10 years ago, we came into money. A lot of money. I worked hard in my specific field, which earns quite a bit. I had also made some smart investments, and they paid off. I've been steadily adding to my bank account all these years. David considers this my money. We don't have a prenup, but he insists it's mine, so I'll talk about it as if it is. When the first big payout came in, I did exactly what David and I had always discussed we would do if we ever had money. We paid off our mortgage. I bought a new car. We purchased a nice vacation home in Florida, in one of our favorite destinations. We rent this house out to a very nice family for most of the year. We also set up college funds for each of our kids, equal amounts that should cover at least 5 years of tuition. If there's money left over, the kids can use it as a down payment on their own home or apartment. When the money kept coming in, thanks to my career and investments, I looked at what else could be done for our immediate family. David has 2 sisters, Jessica, the problematic one, and Karen. Between them, there are 5 nieces and nephews. My brother Michael has 2 kids as well. It was decided that all of the nieces and nephews would get college funds, just like my own children. Same rules, same amounts, same stipulations. I would get the tuition info directly and pay the bills to keep everything clear. My eldest niece, Ava, had already started college, so I paid the amount directly to her parents to keep it fair. She managed to finish in 4 years and even had money left over. I also asked a dear friend, who's an accountant, to figure out what would be most beneficial for Michael and for one of my sisters-in-law in terms of their mortgages. I ended up paying off the majority for both of them. For my parents, Robert and Linda, their house was already paid off, so instead, I sent them on a very nice family vacation to Hawaii. For my in-laws, George and Patricia, I helped in different ways. One of the sisters rents, so I gave them a certain amount of money so they could save and have more stability. Part of the money also goes to charity, both here in the U.S. and abroad. I even set up college funds for the children of our closest friends. And as a treat, David and I went on a fully paid vacation, covered by me, with both sides of the extended family. At this point, everyone was extremely grateful. However, Jessica, my sister-in-law, always needs to be the center of attention. Either she or one of her kids has to be in the spotlight. She is always nice to my face, but I know for a fact that she has been bad-mouthing me. She makes passive-aggressive remarks about my career, my personality, or the fact that I have money. But she always phrases it in such a way that, if you called her out, you'd look like the bad guy. My usual tactic is to play the innocent dumb one and nitpick her words. I've shut her up many times without being called out directly. For the past few years, Jessica has been hinting that I should pay for a luxurious all-inclusive resort holiday for her and her family abroad since I have the money. Keep in mind, she and her husband Tom have plenty of savings, originally meant for their kids' college funds, which they barely used. Then COVID hit, and Jessica went quiet for a while. Both she and Tom took the pandemic very seriously. Now that restrictions have mostly lifted, Jessica threw a birthday party for herself and for her son Ryan. David and I showed up with gifts. Ryan got a voucher to buy camping gear he wanted, and Jessica got a gift card she could use however she pleased. I even added sunscreen, drinks, and some extras since I knew she had been talking about a holiday of some sort. All good, right? Or so I thought. At the party, Jessica asked us what our holiday plans were. We told her we weren't crossing any foreign borders this year. Instead, we booked a cabin in the mountains of North Carolina for a week. Very nice, nothing luxurious. We'd still have to cook and shop for groceries ourselves. Jessica smiled and said, "Oh, how nice. We're still thinking about what we want to do." David and I both knew what she was hinting at, but we started throwing out random ideas in the hopes of avoiding what we knew was coming. We suggested maybe they could stay with family in New Jersey for a weekend, or maybe try a campsite in Pennsylvania with activities for the kids. Then it happened. Jessica finally pulls out her phone and shows us something she found online. To be honest, it looked amazing. Not too luxurious, but still very nice. An all-inclusive resort in Orlando, Florida, with a huge water park for the kids, a spa center, entertainment, the whole shebang. The price tag? $35,000. David looks at the screen and says, "Wow, that's a lot. But good thing you guys saved so much money to do this." And then Jessica says the words that made the whole room freeze. "Oh, we don't plan on paying. We thought you would be paying as my birthday gift." Excuse me? This woman just told me that she expected me to hand over $35,000 as a birthday present just because I have money. She goes on, "You earn enough, Emily. You already promised college funds for all the kids, Ryan, Ava, Noah, Emma, and Olivia. It's only fair that you also cover this. We're family." The whole room went silent. Even her birthday boy, Ryan, looked up from his video game to see what would happen. David burst out laughing, thinking it had to be a joke. My father-in-law George just sat there, watching in disbelief. And I probably looked like a fish out of water because my mouth was literally hanging open. But Jessica wasn't joking. She was dead serious. She widened her eyes, trying to look sweet, something she always does when she wants something, and repeated, "You have the money. You won't even miss it." I finally snapped back to reality and gave her the one word she didn't want to hear. "No." Jessica's eyes went wide. But you have the money." "True," I replied. "So you can pay for it," she interrupted, smiling as if she had won. "I could," I said slowly, "but I won't." That's when she lost it. "But we deserve it. You won't even notice it's gone. We're family." "Unfortunately, yes, Jessica, you and I are family," I said calmly. "I love being family with your kids, Ryan, Ava, Noah, Emma, and Olivia. They're amazing. But you've disrespected me and my work for years. You badmouth me, call me names, and even told people David should divorce me. And now you expect me to hand over $35,000 as if it's nothing." Jessica started stuttering, trying to deny she ever said those things. Her husband Tom jumped in, calling me a liar. But then their own kid spoke up. Ryan, bless that boy, said, "Mom, we literally heard you say that." And to make things worse for Jessica, Ryan had accidentally recorded one of her conversations while he was making a TikTok video. He pulled out his phone and played it back, her voice, clear as day, trashing me behind my back. Tom went completely silent. When Jessica realized she wasn't getting the $35,000 resort vacation, she tried to bargain. "Fine," she snapped. "If you won't pay for that, at least cover our plane tickets and let us stay at your Florida vacation home. That's the least you could do for family." I shook my head. "First of all," I said, "our vacation home is currently rented out to another family who can't travel because of COVID, so it's not even available. Second, you don't get to make demands of me. Third, the voucher I gave you for your birthday has a very generous amount of money on it. You can use that however you like, maybe even toward a vacation. Fourth, David and I already paid for a huge family holiday that included you guys. And fifth, if you want more money, get a better job. You have a degree. Use it." Jessica's eyes filled with tears, and she turned to her father George for backup. But George sided with me. He told her flat out that he understood my position. He knew how hard I had worked, the sacrifices David and I made, and how much we had already done for everyone in the family. David saw red. He told Jessica in no uncertain terms that this conversation was over, that we were leaving, and that she should be ashamed for even asking. We packed up our kids, thanked George and Patricia for the party, and went home. The very next day, we got a phone call. It was my mother-in-law, Patricia. She has full-on FM tendencies. Flying monkey, especially when it comes to Jessica, her favorite child. Patricia tried the usual guilt trip. "Jessica has had such a hard life. Things were tough before you came into money. You should try to understand her." But David wasn't having it. He told his mom point-blank that Jessica had crossed the line. He reminded her that we had already paid for mortgages, college funds, family trips, everything. After a long conversation, Patricia finally backed down. The kids rebel. Here's the part that honestly made me laugh. Jessica's own kids, Ryan, Ava, Noah, Emma, and Olivia, were furious with her for pulling the stunt. They went full-on rebel mode. We've always had a great relationship with them. They came over a few days later, clearly nervous, and we had a heart-to-heart. I told them, We don't blame you for your mom and dad's actions. We love you guys. You're not responsible for what they do. I explained the reasons why we don't just hand out money like that, even to family. After all the generous gifts and college funds, there had to be limits. They nodded and said they understood. The younger one, little Olivia, still seemed torn and sided more with her parents, but the older kids, Ryan especially, completely got it. They stayed for dinner, then went home. From what I've heard, they've barely spoken to their parents since. They still live there, of course, but it's all business now. Chores, updates, bare minimum conversation. The warmth is gone. Jessica tried rallying more flying monkeys. She called up relatives, sent messages, tried to spin the story. But then Ryan dropped the ultimate bomb. He made a simple Facebook post. A short video clip of his mom trashing me behind my back, the same one he had accidentally recorded while making a TikTok. It went public within the family. And that was it. The backlash against Jessica and Tom was enormous. Family members called them out. Some uninvited them from upcoming events, and others openly apologized to me for ever doubting me. Some relatives admitted they had a hard time, torn between understanding her struggles and recognizing how unfair she had been to me. The only thing that truly bothers me is that my in-laws, George and Patricia, are caught in the middle. Especially Patricia. She's very family-oriented, and I know it hurts her to see this division. But I couldn't just give in. I know some people will wonder, why not just pay? Well, first, Jessica has disrespected me for years, long before I ever had money. She never valued me or my work. Second, it makes me deeply uncomfortable to hand over such a large amount of money just because someone demands it. I've already paid off their mortgage, their kids' education, and more. I've given them gifts, trips, security. And still, Jessica thought she could demand $35,000 as if it were nothing. So here I am, Reddit. Am I the jerk for not paying for my sister-in-law's $35,000 Orlando resort vacation? Because from where I stand, I've given more than enough. And the only thing Jessica deserves at this point is a reality check. Thank you for listening to my story all the way through. Tell me in the comments how you would handle this situation if you were in my shoes. How would you feel, and what would you do? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this.